Syndicated presents Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian.
So what is up? I'm glad you could join us. It is Sean by himself. Hi. Shep is busy. He's doing CEO things. Much love, Shep. Much love. We'll explain that to you on Thursday when we catch up with Shep. But lots of things to talk about. Some ironic things as well. But Todd and I were just talking about this. The Monday night game tonight, I am curiously aroused. Probably not the best choice of words there. Wouldn't be the first time I've done that. Won't be the last time. But I'm curiously aroused. And can I tell you why I am curiously aroused? It's the Here They Come Bowl. I love the Here They Come Bowl. Seriously, it's December 9th, man. And we've got the Here They Come Cincinnati Bengals, and that's kind of turned into a recent bit, the Here They Come Cincinnati Bengals. Oh, don't worry, everything will be okay with Joe Burrow and the Bengals, right? That's kind of become a recent bit. And I love it. I love every second of it. All right, let me tape this out. Here They Come Bowl on Monday Night Football, CFP playoffs, and Lions Chiefs. There's some striking similarities between the Lions and the Chiefs, and I'm going to call some Lion fans out. So just be ready for that. I promise you. I'm going to call some Lion fans out. You know the routine. The Cowboys are already talking like Here They Come. Multiple Cowboys are saying, yep, we're getting right at the right time, all of that. Don't pay any attention to what are they currently right now. I think 12th in the NFC. Here, you know what? I'm going to look it up right now. Talk amongst yourselves. Yes, they're 12th. They're in the 12th spot. They're in the 12th spot at 5-7. And, of course, Cincinnati has really been, I think, the poster child for Here They Come. They are at the 4-8 spot. So to put it mildly, I love get right game. Oh, see, Dallas had their get right game. They're coming off their get right game, Todd. So whereas Detroit had to play a week after Thanksgiving, Dallas has to play 11 days after Thanksgiving? So this is a get right game. Here they come. So Cincinnati is, everybody else below Cincinnati in the AFC is eliminated. They are at 4-8. Even if they win their last 5 games, the likelihood of them making the playoff is very slim. But here they come, because that's what Joe Burrow does. I know somewhere Blake is probably mad at me. Blake, I did not mean that as a shot at you, but let's be brutally honest. Yes, that's kind of been the routine the last few years with them. Okay? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So Todd and I wanted to go a little early tonight. Can I want to get into the college football in great detail because I'm excited, okay? I have a lot of questions and concerns as you do. There were a lot of things that didn't make sense to me and a lot of things that I don't know about. But I have to give a shout out to my buddy Tom, who brought this up to me. We haven't even played the college football playoff games yet. And people are already complaining about it. Can we let it play out? Can we do that? Can we let it play out a little bit? Please? All right, I want to talk about the Lions and the Chiefs first, okay? Because there is something that has been happening that has crept in the last few weeks And number one, it's very interesting to me. But number two, I think you guys know me. I cannot stand the speak out of both sides of your mouth stuff. It drives me out of my mind. And I'm serious. If I'm a guy that ever talks out of both sides of my mouth, call me out. It drives me out of my mind. Dave, it's already complaining City is going to be that way every year, no matter the bracket. Yes, Dave, I promise. Stick around. I want to talk to you because I know you're college football elite. Have you guys noticed that in the last couple weeks, I love to peruse social media. I don't talk as much as I probably should. I don't tweet or post as much as I probably should, but I love to read. I really do. Have you guys noticed, and Todd, if you've noticed, you can shake your head. I've seen a lot of people around the world of the National Football League, other fan bases, call out the Lions the last few weeks. Like it's really built to a crescendo. And it might be that after, winning some games in a dominating fashion, if we're being honest, their last few wins haven't exactly been dominating, right? We can acknowledge that. I have nothing to apologize for, right? Just go win the damn football games. You're 12-1. Anybody that wants to complain about 12-1, that's on them. Now, I'm going to say the exact same thing I said at the beginning of the year, and I'm not going to deviate from this. What happens in the regular season means next to nothing to me. Honestly. I said that last February. Todd, you were here. I said it all to honest to goodness. It means next to nothing to me. Next to nothing to me. I cannot stress that to you enough. Do I want to win the division? Of course I do. Do I want the Lions to be the number one seed? Of course I do. The ultimate success or failure with the 2024 Detroit Lions is going to be, did you take that next step? And I know for some people that won't even be enough. Merely just getting to the Super Bowl won't be enough. But for me, that's what this is. Take the next step. Now, again, consider the source. I'm not linear guy, okay? Well, they got to the NFC Championship in 2023, and then they got to the Super Bowl in 2024, so that means 2025 season they'll win the Super Bowl. Now, if you're there, go win the damn Super Bowl. And I'm done bitching about this team for the rest of my days. I swear to God, I promise you I'm done. I'll never bitch about this team again. Ever, never, ever, never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, never. All right? But to this point, let's face it, the Lions' workmanlike 24-6 victory at Indy was boring. We talked about it. It was a boring game. I'll take it. The Lions' 23-20 victory over the Bears was a gift. Now, I don't know what happens if the Bears kick the field goal, nor do you, but we don't have to have those conversations. Matt Eberflus. And then the Lions, good evening, Tom. I just shot you out. Oh, David, what a horrible goal by Uso. Oh, boy. More on that, too. Well, if you're watching the Wings game, you're probably not watching this. Tom, I gave you a shout-out, and I'm going to get to it in a minute. People already bitching about the college football playoff before it even started. Tom brought that to my attention, my buddy in London, and it's like, huh? You already? And then, of course, the Lions knocked off the Packers 34-31. But what's interesting about it to me is I'm watching fans from other fan bases chastise the Lions. I'm watching people piss at 12-1. I'm watching people from different fan bases and some players basically say that the Lions are frauds, that they're not that good. Now, I'm a firm believer in the theory of you are what your record indicates. You've probably heard me say that many, many times. And many, many of you have probably disagreed with me in the past. If the Lions were languishing at, 5-8, you are what your record indicates. No. And at 12-1, you're going to go, yes. And I get that. All right. But I want you to look around Twitter. I want you to look around Facebook. I want you to look at, some places where you could see fans jumping in. It is amazing to me how many people are using terms like fraud, lucky, not that good. They don't scare me. All those things that we used to hear people say about other teams. People are saying that about our 12-1 team right now. Isn't that lovely? Mike Krupinski, Parcells said that too. You are what it says you are. You are what your record indicates. Firm believer. Lions are a 12-1 football team. They've looked really good at times, and they haven't looked really good at times. They've also had a lot of injuries. But I can't help but kind of giggle when I see all these fans, in particular the Viking fans, which kind of makes me giggle, I got to be honest with you. Now, I have all the respect in the world for their head coach. I think he's vastly underrated, and I think that shows. But Sam Bradford, hi. You know what I mean? So with that being said, hey, you're an 11-2 team. And I've been saying for a while now, I think they're a playoff team. Right? But you know what's funny? While we're kind of chuckling at some of these other fan bases for doing that, and the Packers talking about calls go our way, which I'm sorry. I know we have some Packer fans in the audience. You guys, really? Now, at least I'm one of those people. I can sit back. It was kind of silly when Lion fans did that to you. I would hope some of you with common sense now realize it's kind of silly when you're repaying the favor. Can we agree? Except the Sam Gatto game. I've never gotten a good explanation of that. If somebody wants to give me an explanation of the Sam Gatto game, please tell me you guys remember that Sunday night game. I still don't know what happened on that play. That's a mystery for 16 years. As Tim said, if you want to crown him, crown him. Tim, you're one of the Packer fans. I'll repeat what I just said. Perfect timing. I thought it was BS when people tried to detract from what the Green Bay Packers did. I envied the Green Bay Packers. I wanted to be the Green Bay Packers. Now, I hate the Bears more because that was my formative years. And I wanted to be the bad boy on the block. I wanted teams to be afraid when you came to town. And I wanted to be the team that knocked out a quarterback every year. But tip of the cap to what the Green Bay Packers have done. It's just kind of funny now that a lot of those teams are saying that about our team. You know I was going someplace with this, didn't you? You know what was also funny? As I was in 3 different text groups last night with 3 different groups of friends, hearing all these people say the exact same thing about the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if you don't like it when Viking fans doing it, and you don't like it when Bear fans doing it, and you don't like it when Packer fans doing it, or you don't like it when, pick a team, the Colts, whatever. If you don't like it when they're doing that to what you've been able to build so far, how on earth can you do that to the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, who are following up the back-to-back Super Bowls with a 12-1 record? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? Come on, let's be honest. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? And you know what the reality is? Good teams that have a little bit of mojo, find ways to win games. Imagine that. Greg Givens quoting Al Davis, and I couldn't agree more. Just win, baby. I don't care how it is. Just win. Just win. So I'm sorry, I'm not in that crowd. I'm not in that crowd that's going to sit back and go, oh, Kansas City's so lucky, and every call seems to go their way. Wow, imagine that. Good teams get breaks. Good teams get the benefit of the doubt. Certainly the Detroit Lions didn't over the years because they weren't a good team. And now, I used this term earlier when I was talking to Neil Rule on Woodward Sports. The Lions are new money right now. We're new money. We're trying to learn how to. Oh, I remember, Tim. Dennis Green. Bears who thought they were. You want to crown them? Crown them. Well, we had them. And we let them off the hook. That was a great meltdown. I played that for weeks on my radio show. But here's the reality. Lion fans, we're new money right now. It's almost like we don't know how to deal with this. Many of us, okay? Many of us don't know how to deal with this. And I think maybe that's pissing off some fans. I don't know if any of the fans in the chat want to comment on that. Wait a second. You're not used to cocky Lion fans. You're not used to Lion fans taunting you. You're not used to looking at the ass of the Lions up the standings. Right? And the truth is, guys, we're not used to it. We're not used to it. That's a great position. I love it up here. This is, boy, the view. Why didn't anybody tell me how cool this view was from the penthouse, right? But there's still a long way to go. And it was funny because, and Todd, not shockingly, I got called out in all 3 text groups that I was in. And they told me, all right, Baligian, you're not doing your radio show. All right, Baligian, you're not on TV right now. And it's like, I didn't know that had anything to do with common sense and logic and reason. Maybe I should just save common sense and logic and reason for when I do the pods and things like that. No, it's factual. I'm not going to sit there and call out the Chiefs. Have they had a slew of things go their way? Absolutely. Have they won some head-scratching games where you're going, huh? How did that happen again? Absolutely. Have they looked great all season long? No. I think they'd be the first one to say it. But you know what? Good teams find a way to win. And here is my comment that I've been saying since last year. The Kansas City Chiefs still scare the out of me because of that. Can I blow through this real quickly? Are you ready? Here's a regular season. 7-point win, 1-point win, 5-point win, 7-point win. Golly gee, they won by 13 against the Saints back on October 7th. And then they followed that up with a 10-point win. 7, 6, 2, 9 was their loss. 3, 2, 2. Call me crazy. Maybe that's a good team that finds a way to win. And like good teams are apt to do, get some breaks along the way. So please don't include me in that group that out of one side of my mouth, I'm going to say, how are you detracting away from a 12-1 team, the number 1 seed in the NFC, and then turn around and try to detract from a 12-1 team, the number 1 seed in the AFC? Right? I'm just not going to do it. So enjoy it. This Sunday is going to be fantastic. We'll talk more about it over the course of the week. I'm doing the show again tomorrow by myself. We got the hockey show Wednesday with Mike. For the hockey fans out there, Mike and I are doing another game next Saturday out in Livonia. How about Stevenson and Trenton? Oh, that'll be a dandy. Looking forward to that. So, yeah, embrace it. It's awesome. It's fantastic. But there's more work to be done. There's more work to be done. Alan said, I just had a conversation with someone about this and wanted your take. What adversity have the Eagles faced? They're healthy. They've had a cupcake schedule. They beat the Ravens where Tucker left 7 points on the board, beat Green Bay week 1, awful turf week 1 that everyone was slipping on. We're battle tested. They're not. I'm going to say it again. I love the Lions' chances against the Eagles as long as the game's at Ford Field. I want nothing to do with going to Philly. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. I know I'm supposed to be tough and say, I don't fear anybody. We're the big bad Lions. I want nothing to do with going on the road and going to Philly and facing the chance that there's going to be a blizzard. Remember the blizzard game a few years ago? Or it's going to be 10 degrees. I want nothing to do with that. Nothing, zero, zilch, nada. I love their chances. If they get Philly at home, I love their chances. Love them. I can't stress that enough. Love them. Tim said, good teams find a way. Example, the first Green Bay game this year, I think Green Bay had every stat but the score. Exactly. And Tim, I watched the Packers do that for generations. I watched Brett Favre in still one of the most painful moments of my life. I'm not even being funny. Hit Sterling Sharp with that pass at the Silverdome. Where you're left saying, how on earth does that guy get that wide open? How on earth does that happen? I watched Brett Favre do it. I watched Aaron Rodgers do it. And I've seen Jordan Love do it a few times with less regularity, obviously, and less time. You know, he hasn't gotten to that level that those two are at. That's what good teams do. Right? That's what good teams do. All right, Todd, I better do a read, right? Do you think I should mix one in? It's not like I have diarrhea of the mouth or anything. Can we talk about All About Catering? All About Catering LLC is a full-service caterer, graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events, anything you need catering for from 25 to 4,000 people. All About Catering can and will take care of you. Customer service and satisfaction is their number one goal. So do not sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com to see their menus and their 5-star reviews. Give Rick and the gang a call at 586-731-1398. That's 586-731-1398 to get your event started. Guys, and I hope I'm not coming across as a, quote, cocky Lion fan. I think that we are staring at the inevitable right now, about 2 months from now. I really do. Honest to God, I think we're staring at the inevitable. I think it's the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I felt that way since the beginning of the year. I feel that way now. I'm terrified of the Lions' chances because I firmly believe that the NFL is desirous of having the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, who they might just make his face the replace the shield and put Patrick Mahomes' face in there. I'm terrified that they're very desirous of having them break the seal and be the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls. But as somebody pointed out to me today, this is a win-win situation for the NFL. The Detroit Lions would be an incredible story. And the NFL love to sell hope, don't they? Like, you've accepted that now, right? The NFL loves to sell hope. Why did you add an extra game? Why did you add more playoffs? Are you kidding me? Hope. There's some poor sap Dallas Cowboy fan who legitimately thinks that Here They Come is real. And they're going to find a way to get in the playoff. And then you know what they're going to say? Well, once you get in, anything can happen. Remember when the Giants did it? Hell, the Cincinnati Bengals, that's been their identity. Again, sorry to Blake. I know Blake loves him some Bengals and he loves him some Joe Burrow. That's been their identity. Jeez, oh Pete, man. So that's what we're talking about. You have been saying Kansas City since the summer at winning the Super Bowl. I pray I'm wrong. I do. I pray I'm wrong. Right? In our business, you have to, pick things. I've been saying Kansas City over Detroit since the summer. I pray I'm wrong. Now, am I saying Detroit doesn't have a chance? Absolutely not. Absolutely. It wouldn't shock me in any way, shape, or form if this Lion team went and won, even with all the injuries. Man, if they haven't proven it to you yet, especially with some of these bodies eventually coming back, I don't know what else they have to do. But yeah, I'm terrified of the Kansas City Chiefs. Last night's a perfect example. What they've done all season is a perfect example. So don't be what you detest. Don't out of one side of your mouth chastise the Bears and the Packers and the Vikings. Or whoever that's taking shots at how the Lions are conducting their business, getting to 12-1. Don't turn around and do the same thing to the Chiefs, man. Austin said, why aren't you more concerned about Philly? If that's on the road in January, that's the one game that scares me. Austin, you must have just joined us because I swear to God, Todd, maybe 180 seconds ago, I said the exact same thing. I'm terrified of going to Philadelphia. I want nothing to do with it. Do I like the Lions' chances at Ford Field? 1,000%. 1,000%. But to your point, and if you don't believe me, you can rewind like 3 minutes. Terrified of Philly. Terrified of going to Philly. That's why, before we get into the college football playoff, if the Lions are going to lose the rest of the way, do you know who I want them to lose to? The Bills. It's an AFC team. Philly has 2 losses in the NFC. Bam. If our defense is healthy, we beat KC by double digits. Their red zone offense is awful. Mahomes has been sacked more times already this season than any other season. He will be running for his life. I hope you're right. They just keep winning. They just keep winning. And they do it almost in new and inventive ways every week. And I'm not going to shit on that. Sorry, Todd. It's kind of a swear jar. My apologies. No, Austin, it's all good. He said just joined Indeed. Austin, I swear to God, 3 minutes ago. Now, well, probably more like 4 minutes ago. Now, I'm terrified of the prospect of going to Philly. You could get a snowstorm like they had in 2013. Remember poor Joik Bell trying to run through that crap? You could get sub-zero temperatures. You know what? You're hoping for a track meet can be a completely different game. I want nothing to do with that. And maybe part of that is that freezing game down in Carolina Christmas Eve a couple years ago. Maybe I still think about that and I quiver. And, you know, what's that tick? Oh, I'm thinking about Christmas Eve 2 years ago. Let me tell you about Wealth Advantage Group before we get into the college football playoff. And I'm going to use my buddy Tom's quote again. Hey, if you're ready to take charge of your financial future, look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville, owned by those two guys right there, the Handsome brothers. That's Mike Cusack on the left, Jeff Cusack on the right. These guys understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, or already in retirement, they can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life, and they have clients in over 20 different states. Look, the investment world is a complex one, so if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it might be time to work with the experts. Reach out to my friends at the Wealth Advantage Group. That's Mike and Jeff and Aaron, 248-773-8574. That's 248-773-8574. Or check out their website at www.thewealthadv.com. All right, deep breaths. Deep breaths. Are you guys ready? Let's talk about the college football playoff. And as I'm going to use Tom was the one that brought this to my attention. We haven't even started the games yet, and already there is a slew of complaining. Well, there's two things. Number one, you knew there would be. It didn't matter if they went from 2 to 4 to 8 to 12. We're all going to sit back and talk about this team should have been 12, that team should have been 12, okay? The problem that I have, and I'm willing to let this play out first, okay? But the only problem that I have was criteria. And I think Ward Manuel, Austin said, hard to bet against Mahomes and Arrowhead in the playoffs. Dude, I'm with you. It's hard to bet against Mahomes in the playoff. Terrifies me. Sorry. Ward Manuel was the guy that really dropped the ball yesterday. When Ward Manuel is openly talking about strength of schedule and how strength of schedule and who you played was a mitigating factor, you open up that can of worms, man. I didn't. So, of course, what's going to happen? Think about it. Of course, Lane Kiffin's going to pounce on that in a second. Wait a second. Hold on. We play in the SEC, man. What are you talking about? South Carolina's going to pounce on that. Right? Alabama's certainly going to pounce on that. And everybody's going to do what? They're going to look at SMU. Now, if you watch this show, I told y'all a month and a half ago SMU was going to be there. Todd, remember? SMU. I told you this was going to happen. It was like playing chess. If SMU could get the rest of the way and just absorb one loss, they were going to be a playoff team. Doesn't surprise me. And I'm not sitting here saying it's right, okay? But because of schedules, because of configuration, because of strength of schedule, that was a very good path for them, right? Where you screwed up was to talk about strength of schedule. And Tom is our resident Penn State fan. Tom said Penn State's schedule was crap. Blake and I talked about that back in August. That's another we told you. Remember when we were talking about who's going to be in the playoff, who's not going to be in the playoff? And I told you guys, look, the Big Ten is not getting 5 teams in. Because a lot of slapdicks were saying that there's going to be 5 teams. Blah, blah, blah. And one of the things I said is there are going to be a slew of 3-loss teams. There's going to be a slew of 3-loss teams that are going to get in. I've got the playoff bracket and championship fixed. Do you, Todd? Okay, yeah, no problem. There's going to be a slew of 3-loss teams that aren't going to get in the playoff. Good teams. Good teams. Thank you for remembering that, Tom. Appreciate it. And the teams that don't have a difficult schedule, we brought up Penn State. We brought up Iowa, but it wasn't time for the Ferents yet. But there were a lot of teams that you looked at their schedule and you said, you know, guys, there's a very good chance. There's a very good chance that these teams are going to make a run to the playoff. While Michigan is playing a more difficult schedule, while Ole Miss, while Alabama, look at these guys' schedule. What do you tell an 11-1 Big Ten team? What do you tell Indiana? Well, the Big Ten is perceived to be one of the best conferences. The Big Ten sucked this year. Can we all admit it? You're not going to yell at me for saying that. Like this year, you're not going to yell at me for saying it, right? The Big Ten sucked this year. They did. Period. Thank God for Oregon. Do you think the committee's going to tell a 1-loss Big Ten team you're not getting in? Hell, do you think the committee's going to tell a 2-loss Ohio State team they're not getting in? Of course they're getting in. So right now, the one thing that we have to deal with in this first year, there is absolutely no reason to put anything above a cupcake on your out of conference. None. There's no incentive. Big Ten was trash. They were. There's no incentive for you to put anybody of worth on your out of conference schedule. That makes me sad. It really does. It makes me sad. Or if you choose to do it, it might be, dare I say, an elimination game early in the year and you don't even know it. Because if you remember, that's what I said was going to keep Michigan out. I thought Michigan was going to go 9-3. Obviously, they didn't. But their 3 losses is what was going to hurt them. If they lost to Ohio State, obviously they didn't. If they lost to Texas, and if they lost to Oregon, those were 3 teams that I thought would be above them, and so probably would preclude them from getting in. And so, in essence, they were almost de facto elimination games. Todd, do you have that? Let me see that. You can pull that up.
Okay, so the idea here is first round, the Power 4 get to pick how they want to send their 2 representatives, and that becomes the conference championship game. So if you want to take that as your top 2 seeds after play, or if you have an East and West, then they face off.
Or leader and legends.
Yeah, leaders and legends. There you go. And then you have 8 at-larges, and they also play. So for the conference championship, those are neutral site. For the at-large, it's hosted at the higher seed. And then if you win your conference championship game, you host. So we still get that cool hosting. And then it's reseeded against the at-large winners.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Because then I think it makes the conference championship still a thing. You still have the autonomy to select it. Yep.
I like that.
And then you can reseed at the second round. And if you want to reseed at the Final Four, you could do that.
You guys, I can't stress this enough. Oh, Tim said, didn't notice you were on. Hi, Tim. Have you brought up the new beast mode from ASU? Gosh, it would be great if Michigan State could get a quarterback like that. Anyway, I love the home site. I absolutely love it. I cannot stress that to you enough. And maybe you don't feel the same way that I do about it right now, but I think you will if, God willing, your team has that opportunity. How cool would it be? Seriously, how stinking cool would it be? Number 8, Michigan State hosts number 9, Tennessee. Just before Christmas time at Spartan Stadium. There's an even money chance, Todd, I'm at that game with no pants on. Hey, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, I know it's cold. I'm all right. No, you can't be sitting in the stadium with your pants off. Who said? I didn't see a sign. I didn't see a sign. Michigan, how about you guys? Michigan checks in at the number 5 seed, for sake of an argument, hosting Clemson. Again, just a few days before Christmas. That's unbelievable. That is so stinking cool. And as I was leafing through the Big Ten excuses book, which was very large at one point in time, one of my favorite Big Ten excuses was, I would love to see those teams come up here and play in the bad weather. Remember that one? Can we all chuckle at it now? Because we didn't get the bad weather that people talked about quite that often. In December, you sure as hell might. Are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. You're not going to get that bad weather early in the season in the out-of-conference schedule. It was such a dumb argument. Yeah, listen, even if you left a spot open late in the year, chances are you're not going to get that bad weather there. But you know what? There's a really good chance you might. If you get that glorious Christmas snow that the kids love so much, and even us big kids love so much. Hey, what's the forecast? Clemson's coming into play at the big house this week. All right, let me look. Oh, gosh. Now, I know it's still 12 days away. 3 to 5 inches of snow, 30 mile an hour winds, and a high temperature of 30. Are you kidding me? Hey, Tennessee, you ready to go play at Spartan Stadium? And trust me, the thing about Spartan Stadium, anybody ever been up there? Man, there's some kind of a weird wind tunnel up there, man. Because you can look in one direction and the wind's blowing one way and the wind's blowing the other way at the other way. That would be unbelievable. Austin said not only should it be a cupcake, it should be week 13 as well, like Bama every year. Northwest Delaware, Worcestershire, Tech State. Yes. Yes. Now, I know they usually play an in-conference game earlier in the slate, which opens up a cupcake later. I get that. But my gosh, every opportunity I get, no, there's no reason to schedule those games anymore. And we all lose because of it. We all lose. Isn't there an excitement about when your team is playing one of those games? Let's be honest, right? Like Michigan fans, you had Texas early this year. That's so stinking cool. That is so stinking cool. And Michigan State's had some tough ones in the past. Remember they had the Oregon series? Todd, I actually voiced part of that intro. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, the 2015 game, they like called me and said, "Can you do some voicers for us?" I said, "Yeah, I can do some voicers for us." So it was kind of funny. I hope Tennessee comes to rock Ohio State. It's going to be fun. It's good. To me, it's fun. As a college football fan, I get it. Most of you, it won't matter until your team is involved, and that's okay. I'm not chastising you for it. As David said, Tennessee and Ohio State is fun. SMU coming up to Penn State. That's fun. That's like 1983's calling Sean Baligian. Hey, remember me? Pony Express taking on Joe Pa. That's great. And, of course, Indiana, Notre Dame. Now, for the record, can I get the lines out there? ND early favorite by 7.5, Penn State by 9, Texas by 11, Ohio State by 7.5. I wouldn't at all be surprised if Heupel didn't find a way down in Columbus. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think you should be either. There have been times that Penn State, Michigan State played in snowstorms. We were at that game 3 years ago in 2021. It just kept coming. And it was one of those snowstorms, Tom, where it wasn't like there were 9 inches after the fact. It just kept coming in that annoying way where maybe there was 4 inches by the time all was said and done. Tim said, wouldn't be surprised if NCAA demanded a game here in Michigan be played at Ford Field so Michigan or Michigan State couldn't have an old weather team's advantage over a warm weather team. They better not. I'm serious. They better not. Don't take away the beauty of an on-campus game, man. God forbid Michigan State ever gets back to that point, right? And for a few years there, they were in the penthouse. Let's be honest. I know much of the chagrin of non-Michigan State fans, but maybe it's easier to look back now and go, yeah, damn. There was that cute little run by D'Antonio. The likelihood that it would be at Michigan seems at least sooner as we look into the distance. No. You better not take that away. Don't tell me Ford Field. Screw that. I want it in the elements, man. The SMU and Penn State game, battle of the death penalty. David, it's going to be a great weekend come the tournament. Dude, I'm more fired up over this than I have been in a long, long time. And that's not even to mention the bowls. And I'll talk about the bowls in a second. Todd, what do you got? Do you have more graphics up? Todd, I love when you do graphics. What graphic do you have up? Is that the same one?
It's the same one. It's just a bracket. Yep.
All right. Can I do a read then while we're here? Let me talk to you about our friends at Legacy. Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents, and they provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all. And I do mean all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you. And yes, help save you some money. Don't we all want a little bit more of that? And chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Talk to these guys. They're great guys. Joe and Dave and Alex, the entire staff, they're good dudes. They're all sports fans. Give Legacy Partners a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, or your business insurance needs. Give them a call today. 586-209-4106 or visit legacypartnersins.com to get started with your new quotes. Let me get a Death Storm, some would say. I love Death Storm. You know that. Tim said, I know, don't give them any ideas, but LSU versus Wisconsin at Lambeau Field would be way too cool. Alan, thank you for the kind words. You and Neil are awesome. I can't stop watching y'all. Neil's a great dude. Have a lot of fun working with Neil. You guys, I understand that bowl season isn't what it used to be. And let me also say that I don't blame the kids for opting out of a lot of these games. I still love bowl season. I still can't wait for bowl games to come on. I can't believe, as a matter of fact, if you guys are paying attention, the first bowl game's coming up in a mere 5 days. South Alabama and Western Michigan. Congratulations, Broncos. I still enjoy bowl season. Now, I know it isn't that exciting for a lot of the big name brands. I get it. I totally get it. All right. I do. But I don't know. I've said this for years and I'll say it again right now. To the people that kind of poo-poo the bowl games and go, what the hell are you doing? I always say, well, what's the matter? Don't you like college football? I'll take as many games as I can get because there's a 215 day span between the end of the season. I think it's 215 this year. I actually counted the other day because I'm a loser. I think there's 215 days from the time the national championship is played to week 0. That sucks. I said, do you know what it sucks the most for me? Todd, we talked about it this past summer, late July. Because you know what the problem with late July is? You can see it. You can see it. It's right there. It's right there. And you can almost smell the cider. The cider mill isn't open yet, but you can almost smell it. But you can't go get it. And I hate that last 3 weeks before week 0 starts. I hate it with a freaking passion. That's right. Not getting that jar again. Nope. I hate it. So for me, it's like, yeah, gimme. Some of the coolest things, like you're just sitting at home on a random afternoon. Oh, cool. There's a bowl game on at 1:00 today. All right, I guess I'll watch it. How about those days where you got one at noon, you got one at 3, you got one at 6:30, you got one at 9:30, and you even got one at like 11? Man, are you kidding me? I think that's fantastic. Like, what else are you going to be doing on Tuesday, December 17th? I'm all in for the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. I'm all in. As a matter of fact, Todd, maybe we should have a Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl watch party from my basement. We'll do a bunch of barbecue, and we'll watch number 25 Memphis take on West Virginia. Like, what else are you going to be doing? Alan said Alex Cobb to the Tigers. I don't mind that signing. Two parts. I want Christopher Ilitch to do more. As we talked about at the end of the season, that's a hope and a dream, right? It's in the timing of it. Let's be perfectly honest. Juan Soto and the Mets and Christopher Ilitch says, oh, yeah? Wait till you see what I do. Alex Cobb. So all the people hoping and praying that he's going to go sign and spend and all that, there's no reason to believe it. I'm sorry. Army-Navy game this weekend, no doubt about that. Tim said, I think the coolest part of the bowl games is that it gives a lot of teams a chance to play each other that rarely do so. Couldn't agree with you more. Tim, some of my earliest memories, like of watching those meaningless bowl games with my father, was turning on Channel 20, right? Hey, it's the Blue Bonnet Bowl, where today Colorado is taking on Wake Forest. I'm in. You don't see those games. Don James in Washington taking on Galen Hall and the Florida Gators. I'm in. That was fantastic. Todd said the NFL needs to get involved in the bowl games to revive them in some way. I don't know how. Maybe a combined pregame or something. Maybe if you draft a player who played in a bowl game, you get one free. That's a good deal. I think we should sign Verlander and JD Martinez. It would be great. I have no reason, Alan. Nobody has any reason to believe that he is going to go out and spend money. Sorry. Michigan State versus Matthew Stafford in Georgia. Absolutely. Come on, that was fun. But that's the kind of stuff that I look at, And of course, Neil Rule and I often talk about this. The Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve is legend. We have the big Christmas Eve party at our house, right? The Hawaii Bowl's always on one of the televisions. Sure, I got It's a Wonderful Life playing on that television. Sure, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer might be playing on that television. But the television downstairs is the Hawaii Bowl. That's great. And I know I'm probably in the minority here. But doesn't Michigan's season, if you're a Michigan fan, doesn't Michigan's season taste a little sweeter if you beat Alabama? And I know not everybody's going to play for Alabama, and I know not everybody's going to play for you, but I'm a perception guy. Perception is reality. I think there's a big difference between going 8-5 and telling everybody, we beat Michigan State, we beat Ohio State, and we beat Bama in a bowl game. I think there's a big difference between going 8-5 and 7-6. I think there's a big difference between going 8-5 and 9-4. And I know a lot of people disagree with me. I don't know. I'm just a perception guy in that regard. Even though I'm a Michigan fan, it'll be awesome to see MSU in a bowl hopefully soon. Alan, I hope it's next year. I thought it was going to be this year. They fell apart. No doubt about that. No excuses. But I promised my daughter, who is a student there, when they make it to a bowl game, we're going to that game. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't care if it's a pinstripe bowl. It'd be great to go back out to the Rose Bowl or something again. Or, God forbid, they actually host a game. Not anytime soon, I think. Even though I like Jonathan Smith, I don't think they're going to be there yet. But, yeah, that to me, that's beautiful. Can I throw one at you? It's New Year's Eve. Like, what are you doing during the day on New Year's Eve, right? Are you ready? You guys get Alabama, Michigan to start your day. After Alabama, Michigan, maybe you check in a little bit with Louisville and Washington. Maybe you're feeling all Big Ten. You go South Carolina, Illinois. How about Baylor, LSU? Down in Texas. And then you got Boise in the Fiesta Bowl in their quarterfinal. Man, that's awesome. I'm sorry. I love that stuff. That's the way it should be. All right. One more thing before we get out of here, okay? Just one more thing before we get out of here. You know who we have to talk about. We have to talk about our friend, Lindsay Broadwell. Hey, when it's time to get yourself a new house, you're buying, you're selling, oftentimes both, you need to contact the right agent. Who do we recommend? That lady right there, Lindsay Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you will ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsay grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of the business. So when it's time to move, our friend Lindsay and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when you're finding your new home. Buyer, seller, even first-time buyer, doesn't matter. She's got your back. So make sure you contact Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. That's Lindsay at BroadwellHomes.com. She will help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. So Shep will be back on Thursday. He was busy being a CEO today. We'll tell you all about that on Thursday. Todd, you and I will chat tomorrow. We got the hockey show on Wednesday. So thank you very much. I'm going to go upstairs and watch the Here They Come Bowl. I can't wait. The hype with the Dallas Cowboys and the Cincinnati Bengals. Baylor, LSU, I like that matchup. Austin, in your opinion, how does Lalonde still have a job? What's going to be the straw that breaks a camel's back? I cannot imagine this going on much longer. I can't. Honestly, I can't. All right, see you guys. God bless you.
Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Still Alive by Anti-Ghost. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.